My practice right now is really working with memory and working with ideas of place to ask questions and open up kind of inquiries around, fundamental aspects of how we build our identities, how we build our identities politically, how we build them interpersonally, how they become internal and psychological, and how they exist externally, inside history, inside our social world. These kind of real like reckonings with just humanity and who we are. I'm a painter first and foremost, and I think that's important because I think the material of paint is something that has really become critical as like a language, and overrides everything. As my work has shifted, as my interest in life has flowed, I always come back to paint, to color, to form, to surface, to the kind of foundations of the material as a way to interpret everything, the world around me. I lived in Johannesburg, South Africa for around like 7.5 years. I did my master's down there full time. And I still go back and spend a good portion of my years working down in Joburg between New York and South Africa. And so the work, content wise, I'm looking often at the kind of queer communities inside South Africa that a lot of my friends and kind of chosen family are a part of, that I am actively kind of a part of. And it's very much like looking at how those spaces and those worlds and people still exist inside myself, even with distance and time, and how I use memory to kind of activate that, and to often grapple with feelings of displacement and distances that I think are often conditions that a lot of my other queer friends, I think, have gone through. Oftentimes what I do is most of the work that I'm making, I will start with a landscape, and most of those landscapes are around Johannesburg, and then I'll build the narratives inside the work based on the way that I remember these memories, these figures, people, stories, in engaging with that landscape. The interesting thing that's happened here is I am really making an entire body of work about water, and about water as a metaphor and as a concept. In Johannesburg is a pretty waterless city. It's an interesting place in which like you don't have this vital aspect of humanity, water, close by. And then I've been here in the Cape where it's like almost too much water, too much ocean. I'm like sometimes a little destabilized by it. And I think, yeah, in a weird way, that has slipped through the cracks of my studio door and brought this kind of present environment. So I'm still very much thinking through memories and all that, but it's like using this space, kind of collapsing the time in that space and letting both my kind of presence exist with these spaces in the past, and commingle. And that caught me off guard a little bit, and it's been exciting for me because it's shifted a bit of my kind of normal relationship to where I'm working at it. I think the title of the painting is like Waiter in the Vaal River. The Vaal River is a river that is fed from the Vaal Dam in the south of Gauteng in Johannesburg, which is this body of water I come back to a lot. That little painting, I think, is just a very honest, moment of me just sitting down one night and grappling through a memory, like I said earlier, of light. That's how I think it started. I just remembered the way the light, this piercing yellow-green light one day when we were down in the Vaal, and just like thinking about that light and the smell of the water and the moisture on the skin, and how it felt to like almost lose your body inside that. And where you see for me at least, I start sometimes like not feeling the way my hand connects to my shoulder, and I start understanding myself as if I'm not constrained inside this form. And I think inside those thoughts, it was kind of like, okay, how do I again translate this into paint? How do I translate things that language struggles with sometimes, feelings, emotions, experiences, into color, into mark, into form?